Hey everyone, and welcome back. Ready for another deep dive?
Always.
Awesome. So today we're exploring a story about Maria.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, it's about this young woman who's new in town and like trying to find her feet,
Oh, I can relate to that.
right? Like new place, new people.
And on top of all that, she's learning English too.
Yeah, it's a double whammy, right? Like imagine feeling like an outsider and then trying to make friends in a language you're still learning. I bet a lot of you have been there at some point.
Definitely. I know I have.
So, yeah, we'll see how Maria tackles this challenge.
Yeah, how she makes out.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I think along the way we might just uncover some cool insights,
Ooh, like what?
like about human connection, you know, and how like friendships can really help us learn and grow.
Sounds fascinating. It's like it's more than just a feel-good story, right?
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
We get to see how like all these little things come together to make someone feel like they belong.
And how that can impact their learning.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So we meet Maria right as she arrives in this really charming town. This story describes it as nestled between rolling hills and a beautiful lake. Picture perfect, right?
Oh, wow.
I know, right?
Yeah.
But even with all that beauty around her, Maria's battling this mix of excitement and those inevitable first day jitters.
Oh, totally understandable.
Right. It's like a whole roller coaster of emotions.
Yeah, starting fresh anywhere, it's gonna come with, the whole bunch of feelings.
Exactly. It's a big leap.
Hmm.
But what I found really interesting was how Maria uses her love for writing
Yeah.
to practice English.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. She's proactive about it, right?
Definitely. Maybe it'll spark some ideas for, our listeners who are learning new languages too.
Right. Like a reminder that learning doesn't have to be all textbooks and flashcards.
For sure.
So, anyway, Maria decides to explore the town.
See what's up.
Exactly. And she ends up in this cozy little cafe picture, this wooden tables, colorful cushions, the aroma of fresh coffee.
Ooh, sounds amazing. Almost makes you want to grab a latte, huh?
I know, right? But here's where it gets interesting. Maria's not exactly a coffee connoisseur.
Uh-huh.
So she takes a leap and orders a cappuccino.
Brave.
I know. Have you ever like ordered something in a new language and felt that like mini victory?
Oh, absolutely. It's like a little boost of confidence.
Exactly. Like you nailed it. And sometimes those small wins can make a big difference.
It really can.
So that's where Maria's story takes a turn. This guy, David, walks in and asks if he can share her table.
Oh, a meet cute.
Right. And David's super friendly, instantly puts Maria at ease.
Always a plus.
I know, right?
Hmm.
And guess what? He's new in town too. And get this, he's also navigating the whole language barrier thing.
Wow. So they've got something in common right off the bat.
Exactly. Like they found a kindred spirit.
Someone who gets it.
Yeah. Which is, great foundation for connection. But it's interesting how quickly their conversation gets deeper, you know? Like they both admit their fears about speaking English.
That's grave.
I know, right? Makes you wonder, have you ever like bonded with someone over a shared challenge?
Oh, totally. That feeling of we're in this together
Wow.
can be like really powerful.
So true. It's like an unspoken understanding.
Yeah. And, it's cool how David reacts. He encourages Maria and suggests they practice English together.
Yes.
Yeah, he turns what could be like this, source of anxiety into a fun shared activity.
Totally. It's like shifting the perspective on learning a language.
Right. Doesn't have to be all about, drills and vocabulary lists. It's about finding those people who make you feel comfortable, comfortable enough to make mistakes and learn from them.
Exactly. And isn't it amazing how just one person's encouragement can make a world of difference? Think back, has there ever been a time when someone's support helped you overcome a hurdle?
Oh, for sure. We all need that sometimes.
We do.
Yeah, absolutely. Makes you realize that the best learning doesn't always happen in a classroom, you know?
Totally. Sometimes it's about finding your people.
Yeah, those who make you feel safe to like experiment and grow.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's what happens for Maria. Dave is just so cool about it all. Like she can make mistakes, it's fine.
Which is so important, right? When you're learning anything new.
Absolutely. If you're too afraid to mess up, you hold yourself
You
back.
can't really dive in, can you?
Exactly.
Yeah.
But when you have that support, those mistakes become like learning moments.
Yeah. It's like they say, you win or you learn.
I love that. So their friendship grows, and David invites Maria on this hike over the weekend.
Nice.
It's not just about the scenery, though, you know.
Yeah.
It's like this metaphor for Maria stepping out of her comfort zone.
Oh, I see. Physically and with the language, too.
Exactly. It's a double whammy, right?
Cool.
Conquering the trail and conquering her fear of speaking.
Makes sense. Like that fresh air and exercise is giving her energy on multiple levels.
Totally. And here's where it gets really interesting. This newfound confidence, it starts impacting other areas of her life too.
Oh, cool. Like how?
She starts like exploring the town more, trying new things, talking to strangers even. What do you think is driving this?
Hmm. Well, I think it's a few things, right? There's definitely the confidence boost from her language progress,
Sure.
but also I think David's friendship plays a big part. Like he's shown her she's accepted even when she makes mistakes.
Yeah, like she belongs.
Exactly. And that feeling can be so empowering.
It's like that initial connection, it sparks something within her.
Ignited a fire.
Haha, yeah.
Oh.
And, it's important to remember this friendship isn't just one sided. David benefits too.
Oh, right.
He finds someone to practice English with, someone who gets his humor, someone who understands what it's like to be the new kid in town.
They get each other.
Yeah. It shows how relationships can be this two-way street.
Totally. We give, we receive, we learn and grow together.
Exactly. It's not just about Maria, it's about their shared journey.
Makes sense.
It reminds me of something we often forget. Like, helping others can be just as rewarding for us.
Oh, yeah, for sure. There's that saying the best way to find yourself is to lose yourself in the service of others.
It's so true. Have you ever felt that, like, that fulfillment from making a difference in someone's life?
Oh, absolutely. It's a reminder that we're all connected.
Okay, before we move on, I want to circle back to something we mentioned earlier. Remember Maria's love for writing?
Yeah, how she used it to practice English.
It made me think about how I used to write these silly songs when I was learning Spanish.
Uh-huh.
I know, right? It helped me remember the words and grammar.
Clever. I think adding that creativity makes learning more fun,
Totally. It's about finding what works for you.
making it a journey.
Exactly. So, back to Maria. Remember that cafe where she first met David?
Yeah, the cozy one.
It becomes their spot, a place to relax, talk, be themselves.
It's like their safe space.
Totally.
Yeah.
It makes me think about those places we all have, outside of work and home where we can connect and recharge.
Like finding your tribe.
Exactly. Those people who get you. And, as Maria's English gets better, her confidence grows, she starts branching out even more.
That's great.
She explores new parts of town, tries new activities, even makes new friends.
That's like that one good connection. It leads to even more.
It's a ripple effect. And what's cool is how Maria's world seems to expand as her fluency grows.
Like language is unlocking doors for her.
Exactly. Have you ever felt that?
Yeah.
That sense of liberation from mastering a new language.
Oh, for sure. It's about breaking down barriers and connecting with people.
It's not just about the words, it's about the human connection.
Absolutely. And that's a key takeaway from Maria's story. Learning a language, it's about so much more than just grammar and vocabulary.
It's about opening yourself up to new experiences,
New
a
relationships.
deeper understanding of the world and ourselves.
Yeah, it's like that quote, the limits of my language are the limits of my world. Learning a language, it can open up so many doors. But before we wrap up our deep dive into Maria's story, I want to get like practical for a minute.
What can our listeners take away from Maria and David's connection? You know, something that they could apply to their own lives.
Well, it's interesting how their friendship it kind of blossomed from these small, genuine interactions, right?
Yeah.
So, tip number one, I guess, don't underestimate those little things, like just being approachable, you know?
Yeah, like a warm smile, a simple hello.
Exactly. It can make someone feel seen, welcomed.
Totally. It's like you're laying the groundwork for connection without even trying too hard.
Right. No need to overthink it.
And you know what? Tip number two kind of builds on that. Be a cheerleader. Like how David encouraged Maria.
Yeah, yeah. Celebrate those wins, right?
Exactly. Whether it's a new skill, a tough project at work, whatever.
Notice the effort, acknowledge it.
It can make such a difference to someone's confidence,
It shows you're paying attention, that you care.
And you don't have to be an expert to offer support. Sometimes just listening is enough.
Oh, absolutely. And that brings us to tip number three, active listening.
Put away those phones, make eye contact.
Ask questions, show you're engaged.
It makes the conversation so much more meaningful, don't you think?
100%. And here's a bonus tip, don't jump in with solutions right away.
Oh, good one.
Sometimes people just need to, vent or process their thoughts.
It's true. Sometimes holding space for someone is the best thing you can do.
Yeah. So remember how Marie and David, they bonded through those shared experiences?
Yeah, the hiking, exploring the town.
That leads us to tip number four, connect through activities.
Like a book club, a hiking group, volunteering, anything.
Yeah. What do you enjoy that you could share with others?
I love that. It takes the pressure off.
Yeah, you don't have to force conversation. It just happens naturally.
Exactly. Okay, last but not least, tip number 5, and this is a big one. Embrace vulnerability.
Yes. It can feel scary, but it's so powerful.
It's like Maria and David admitting their fears about English, right? It created this deeper connection.
Absolutely. It's about being real, authentic.
Letting go of that need to be perfect. So there you have it. 5 tips inspired by Maria and David.
5 ways to create meaningful connections in your own life.
And it all comes down to recognizing that we all crave connection.
We all want to belong.
And even the smallest acts of kindness can make a huge impact.
They really can.
Now, as we wrap up this deep dive, I want to leave you with a final thought. Think about someone who's had a big impact on your life.
Someone who believed in you, supported you.
Made you feel seen.
Have you ever thanked them?
Sometimes a simple thank you can mean the world, right?
It strengthens that bond, acknowledges their impact.
So go ahead, reach out to that person. Let them know how much they mean to you. And remember, the power to connect. It's within all of us.
So keep exploring, keep learning, keep connecting.
And keep diving deep.